Time now for business news with Ari Rabinovitch. Hey, Ari, happy Monday.
You as well, Cynthia.
Thank you. Now, we're getting a glimpse of what the year could hold when it comes to home sales. Everybody's always interested in this.
For sure. And of course, with the way that interest rates have been playing out over the last year or two, people are kind of waiting for that rebound to happen ever since it's been cooling down, which has been the effect of those rising interest rates. So the latest data from the Canadian Real Estate Association for February showed that the price for the average home in Canada held steady, and that was the first time it's done so after 5 straight months of declines. That could indicate that prices, maybe they've bottomed out and they could start rising from here as we approach the spring season. Now, the number of overall sales did drop by more than 3% last month compared to January, however, still up about 20% compared to February of last year, and that was just before interest rates actually peaked. And Cynthia, we do have the Bank of Canada signaling that those rates could come down at some point this year, and a lot of analysts have their sights set on June.
June, interesting. Well, the spring market will be really interesting to watch. We'll have more answers then, won't we?
Indeed, we'll find out if those numbers tick higher.
Okay, let's turn to cannabis stocks. They've been slumping in recent years, but we're suddenly seeing a real resurgence, Ari. Why is that?
Well, it's a little bit tough to pinpoint, but there's a lot of speculation about what could be playing out in the U.S., with some rumors that lawmakers there are working on lowering the classification for marijuana as a Schedule 3 substance instead of Schedule 1. So that would essentially mean that cannabis would become a little bit more open-minded. Let's say it's currently classified as Schedule 1, meaning it has a high potential for abuse and no accepted medical use. Of course, lots of research since about how it can be used for medicinal purposes. So Schedule 3 would mean it would be defined as a drug with a moderate to low potential for physical and psychological dependence, and of course would keep the options open for medicinal purposes. So that could mean good things for cannabis stocks on our side of the border. So Aurora Cannabis, for instance, up 11%. Cynthia, Canopy growth up by more than 20% today on Bay Street.
Interesting. Okay, now we've heard this story over and over, and it always gets people upset. A CEO getting big bonuses and perks. It's happened again.
Yep, so this is one hits close to home with one of the biggest companies in Canada, biggest tech companies, Shopify, the e-commerce giant based in Ottawa with offices all over the country. Well, the founder and CEO, Toby Lutka, received a very generous compensation package worth nearly $200 million, which includes pretty much entirely stock. So it is considered the largest of its kind, or one of the largest of its kind in Canadian history. And also, at last check, Lutka actually makes a cash salary of just $1, Cynthia. The remaining payout is in the form of these type of stock options. Many experts say the strategy here would be to encourage Lutka and other executives to work harder to drive up that stock price.
Wow, that's quite an incentive, isn't it?
I'd work a lot harder for a fraction of that.
I would think so. All right, Ari, thanks very much for joining us. Good to see you.
You as well.